Hello there, you're watching Inside the Americas here on France 24. I'm Catherine Nicholson, and here's what's coming up for you this week. It is the biggest mass prisoner release from Guantanamo Bay since Barack Obama came to the White House. But can he live up to his promise of closing the prison? We're looking closer. We're also bringing you the latest details in the case of a New York imam who was shot dead in broad daylight along with another man. A suspect is now under arrest. And in Rio de Janeiro, while the athletes run, swim, jump and the rest, thousands of unsung Olympic heroes are working away to keep the games running smoothly. We're taking you behind the scenes. First up then, close to 800 men have passed through its cells, and it's one of the longest lasting reminders of the United States' so-called war on terror. Now, the Guantanamo Bay detention centre has just 61 inmates left. 15 were freed in recent days in what was the biggest mass prisoner release since Barack Obama took office. Closing Guantanamo was a key promise for the US president. As his time in office draws to a close, can he finally achieve it? Catherine Clifford reports.
Barack Obama had been in office for just 2 days when he signed one of his first decrees, bolstering one of his main campaign promises to close Guantanamo Bay within a year.
This is me following through on not just a commitment I made during the campaign, but I think an understanding that dates back to our founding fathers, that we are willing to observe core standards of conduct.
But 7 years later, with just a few months left until he leaves office, Obama has still not succeeded in closing the controversial prison located in a remote part of Cuba. He's found himself continually blocked by opposition from Congress, which has banned transferring the detainees to the US for security reasons. He has, however, seen progress with increasingly regular releases. Since the prison was opened in 2002 following the 9/11 attacks, the peak capacity has been 779 prisoners. When Obama took office in 2009, 242 detainees were left. To date, 176 have now been released under Obama, while 61 remain. Most have been held without charge or trial for more than a decade, drawing international condemnation. 19 of these inmates have been cleared for transfer, and Obama wants to send the rest, believed to be the most dangerous, to be imprisoned in the US. While this is extremely unlikely given staunch Republican opposition, the president has not ruled out doing so by executive action.
Now, deadly floods in the US state of Louisiana have ravaged vast swathes of land and destroyed and damaged thousands of buildings. Around 2 feet or 60 centimetres of rain fell in just 2 days, causing waterways to burst their banks. In California, it's wildfires that are causing chaos. Several blazes seem to be threatening tens of thousands of people, cutting off roads and burning out of control, despite the efforts of more than 1,000 firefighters. Across in New York City, there is shock among the local Muslim community after an imam was shot dead in broad daylight. A suspect is now under arrest. Catherine Viette has the latest.
Oscar, did you shoot them because they were Muslim?
35-year-old Oscar Morel has been charged with the double murder of a New York imam and his associate. The men were shot from behind execution style as they walked home from the local mosque on Saturday. Relatives of the victims are shocked by the attack.
I want to ask him, when I see in the court, I also ask him why you killed my brother. My brother was 65 years old, innocent guy.
I lost my father. My father was a good guy. I don't know why he gonna kill him. But now I want justice.
Investigators have yet to come up with a motive for the killing, but the Muslim community says this is a hate crime, plain and simple.
It's clear to us that it's a hate crime, but it's up to the system how they look at it. But the community strongly wants to, this case to be taken as a hate crime.
Many in the community point the finger of blame at Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump for fostering a climate of hostility and distrust at his rallies and in his speeches.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out What the hell is going on?
We condemn what Donald Trump said about Islam and Muslim. We condemn whatever Donald Trump said about our religions. We just condemn that because of that happened. We want justice!
Marching for justice, the Muslim community in New York is demanding answers and increased security. In the wake of a series of incidents, including last year's terrorist attack in California, carried out by Islamic State group sympathizers, Muslims say they've noticed a heightened air of Islamophobia.
Now, there's no such thing as an Olympic medal for emptying bins, handing out free condoms, or offering a friendly face to tourists. But if there were, there would surely be a place on the podium for some of the 3,500 people getting busy behind the scenes at the Rio Games. As the athletes run, jump, flip, swim, and all the rest, there's a veritable army of people working day and night to keep everything else running smoothly. Fernand Van Tetz introduces us to some of them.
The supporters have left after the last match, and athletes rest and gather their strength. But the Rio Olympic Park never sleeps. The night is short for those working behind the scenes. They're just a few hours to adjust even the smallest details.
I have to check 14,000 seats.
14,000 every night?
Yes, they want me to inspect them all.
The piece that needs to go here should be 7 centimeters long. We'll put the tables together to make sure the judges are high enough to see what's going on in the pool. We have 3 hours to put it all together.
With the swimming over, the pool needs to be transformed into a water polo stadium before morning. The swimming lines are pulled out and 1,000 meters of electric cables rerouted. And underwater, there's another job to be done.
A television technician. Well, sometimes underwater, not always. So we've got the camera that tracks up and down the middle of the pool, which stays, but we have to move our underwater ones out, which go under the water polo goal.
A few kilometers away on the golf course,
Any greens mowers still left on the golf course, or are they all done?
64 mowers work all night long. This is Neil Cleverley's labour of love. The Englishman was also involved in the construction of these 44 hectares, and maintaining the green is an exact science.
This is a relative moisture reader. So it reads moisture at 3-inch level. You can measure it at 1-inch, 2-inch and 3-inch level, so we know exactly what the moisture reading is in the soil. Otherwise the grass wilts on top and then you get a terrible green. First player, first group tees up in 15 minutes.
A team of more than 3,500 people work with the athletes and on the sidelines, all for this moment.
Hey guys, come on, show me your excitement.
There are hosts and hostesses at the door, and people recycling the trash.
Paper, newspapers, magazines, all can be recycled.
Some jobs are obvious, others are a bit less glamorous and take place behind the scenes.
We go through 1,000 tons of rubbish every day. The supporters love their fast food, but I've lost weight. We walk 2 kilometers per day in this job.
Behind the 8 Olympic stadiums lies a labyrinth of trailers, 80 stockrooms of all kinds, 20 electric generators, and a little local reminder. All this makes for hungry work. Catering for the park's employees, volunteers, and 500 journalists is a mammoth task. Halal, kosher, vegetarian, the chefs need to satisfy the dietary requirements of more than 200 nationalities.
It's probably about 35,000 meals a day coming out of this kitchen. We'll feed over the course of the games well over 1 million meals. So it's a large quantity of food.
Food isn't the only thing that's in high demand. Eduardo has a very special assignment during the games.
I have a laugh with the American team. They call me Mr. Condom. I stock up this machine with 720 condoms.
Every day?
Yes, every day.
Across the whole park?
No, just here.
26 well-stocked machines for athletes and employees alike. The 2016 Olympics are well protected in every sense.
And it's not over yet. All right, moving on now. If you know someone with a birthday coming up, here's an unusual gift idea for you from Cuba. It's a 90-meter-long cigar rolled out by a local cigar maker as a present for Fidel Castro's 90th birthday this week. Jose Castela Cairo, also known as Cueto, has broken his own world record with this monster creation. It's the length of 2 soccer pitches, and more than 80 kilos of tobacco leaves went into its 4-centimetre diameter. Now, you won't be surprised to hear it took 10 days and the help of several assistants to roll it into shape. Cueto's record-breaking smoke is unlikely to be puffed by its recipient, however. Fidel Castro gave up smoking several years ago. Well, that's it for this week's Inside the Americas. Don't